Welcome back to Taehyung Update. A small signal has once again sparked massive speculation. Nike director Taehyung recently caught global attention after sharing a story that directly tagged Kim Taehyung V of BTS from Circle 81. The brief post spread rapidly, not only because of Nike's global influence, but also because its timing and context felt far too intentional to ignore. What made the moment even more intriguing was Jungkook's visible support for Taehyung, quietly reinforcing the narrative that V is being positioned as a global fashion icon. This subtle yet powerful show of solidarity immediately pushed fans and industry watchers to ask the same question. Was this simply personal admiration or a carefully placed hint toward a major announcement? In the world of fashion and global branding, nothing is ever truly accidental. When a Nike director begins tagging Kim Taehyung, and Jungkook stands firmly behind him as his strongest supporter, one question grows louder by the hour. Are we witnessing the first step toward Kim Taehyung becoming Nike's next global ambassador? Stay tuned to Taehyung Update, because today's quiet signal could become tomorrow's worldwide headline. One story, one tag, one global shock. In the digital age, history often begins quietly. No press conference, no official statement, no carefully worded press release stamped with corporate approval. Just a single Instagram story. When Nike director Taehyung shared a fleeting piece of content and tagged Kim Taehyung V of BTS, Circle 81, it lasted only 24 hours. Yet within minutes, screenshots flooded timelines, forums, fan communities, and industry group chats across continents. In an era where brands script every public move with surgical precision, the action felt almost disruptive in its simplicity. And that was exactly why it mattered. Because at Nike, nothing is accidental. And when the name Kim Taehyung appears in the digital orbit of a Nike executive, the fashion world listens. Chapter 2. Why this tag was different. Celebrity brand interactions happen daily. Athletes wear sneakers. Musicians attend fashion weeks. Actors pose for campaigns. But this was different. First, Taehyung is not a stylist. He is not a junior creative. He is not a social media manager. He is a director-level executive inside Nike's global structure. Second, the tag referenced Circle 81, a creative and cultural space closely associated with Kim Taehyung's artistic identity, music, photography, fashion, and conceptual storytelling. Third, the timing was almost too perfect. Nike has been undergoing a strategic repositioning, aiming to expand beyond performance sports into culture-driven luxury streetwear, music, and art spaces where Kim Taehyung already dominates organically. Industry insiders noticed immediately. So did Jungkook. Chapter 3. Jungkook's silent but powerful support. Jungkook did not issue a statement. He did not comment publicly. He did not repost the story. Instead, his support appeared in subtler, more meaningful ways: interactions, timing, proximity, and alignment. For longtime BTS observers, this was familiar. Jungkook has always supported Taehyung not loudly but strategically. When Taehyung's solo artistry evolved, Jungkook amplified it. When Taehyung's fashion presence grew, Jungkook stood beside him. When Taehyung entered high-fashion conversations, Jungkook never competed, he reinforced. In this moment, insiders noted something crucial. Jungkook's own brand power could easily overshadow the narrative. Yet he didn't. Instead, the focus remained firmly on Taehyung, and that, many believe, was intentional. Chapter 4. Kim Taehyung, a fashion icon without a title. Perhaps the most compelling argument for Taehyung as Nike's next global ambassador is this: he already behaves like one without the contract. Taehyung's fashion influence defies traditional metrics. He does not follow trends. He creates atmospheres. His silhouettes are studied. His color palettes are dissected. His airport looks become mood boards. And unlike typical brand ambassadors, Taehyung does not sell clothes. He inhabits them. Nike, as a brand, has been searching for exactly this energy. Someone who doesn't look like marketing, but like culture itself. Chapter 5. Nike's strategic shift toward cultural ambassadors. For decades, Nike's ambassadors were defined by performance. Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo. But the global market has changed. Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't just admire achievement, they admire identity. Nike knows this. In recent years, the brand has quietly pivoted. Collaborations with musicians, art-driven sneaker drops, narrative-based campaigns, Fashion Week integrations. The question is no longer, who runs the fastest, but rather, who defines the moment? Kim Taehyung defines moments. Chapter 6, Circle 81, the creative signal no one ignored. The mention of Circle 81 was not random. Circle 81 represents Taehyung's world. Art, photography, jazz influences, vintage aesthetics, experimental fashion. By tagging Taehyung through Circle 81, Taehyung wasn't just acknowledging a celebrity. He was acknowledging a creative universe. For Nike, entering that universe would mean more than a campaign. It would mean a cultural partnership. Chapter 7. Fans, forums, and fashion analysts react. Within hours, reactions exploded. Fans began analyzing Nike stock movements. Fashion editors revisited Taehyung's sneaker history. Industry insiders quietly confirmed interest. Competing brands went noticeably silent. On fashion forums, one post gained traction. This is how ambassador announcements start now. Not with press releases, but with whispers. Chapter 8. Why Jungkook's role matters more than ever. Jungkook's support amplifies credibility. He is known within the industry as someone deeply aware of brand dynamics. His own endorsements are carefully chosen. His silence is strategic. By supporting Taehyung without redirecting attention, Jungkook effectively endorsed the narrative itself. Not the brand, not the rumor, but Taehyung's positioning. Chapter 9. Could this be an announcement in disguise? Brands no longer announce. They test reactions. A tag measures engagement. A whisper measures sentiment. A pause measures anticipation. Nike is watching. The response has been overwhelming, positive, global, sustained. Every metric suggests the same conclusion. The world is ready. Chapter 10. What comes next? If history is any guide, the next steps could include subtle sneaker appearances, private events, editorial shoots, cultural installations, limited collaborations, or perhaps nothing at all yet. Because sometimes the most powerful move is letting the world talk first. Final thoughts, the beginning, not the reveal. Was this the official announcement? No. But was it the beginning of a story Nike wants the world to follow? Almost certainly. And with Jungkook standing firmly behind Taehyung, and the fashion world holding its breath, one truth becomes clear. This is no longer just speculation. It is a direction. Stay tuned to Taehyung Update, because the quietest signals often lead to the loudest headlines. The language of fashion power, why Taehyung fits Nike's new era. Kim Taehyung's fashion influence has never been loud. It does not rely on shock value. It does not chase virality. It does not bend to seasonal trends. Instead, it operates through presence. Fashion editors often describe Taehyung's style as slow impact. An image circulates quietly, then weeks later resurfaces in mood boards, editorials, and luxury collections. This pattern aligns perfectly with Nike's current internal challenge: how to slow fashion down without losing relevance. Nike is no longer just selling athletic wear. It is selling identity in motion. Taehyung represents motion without haste. Chapter 12. When luxury meets street, a perfect cultural intersection. Historically, Nike dominated the street. Luxury dominated the runway. But the modern consumer exists somewhere in between. Taehyung has mastered this intersection. Tailored silhouettes with relaxed posture. Vintage influences paired with modern cuts. Sneakers styled not for sport, but for story. For Nike, Taehyung is not a replacement for athletes. He is an expansion of narrative. A global ambassador who does not compete but complements. Chapter 13. Jungkook as the stabilizing axis. Every major cultural shift needs balance. In this unfolding narrative, Jungkook plays a crucial role not as the headline, but as the stabilizing axis. Jungkook's brand image is defined by precision, performance, discipline, global relatability. Taehyung's image, by contrast, is artistic, atmospheric, emotional, conceptual. Together, they represent Nike's dual identity, performance and culture, movement and meaning, power and poetry. Industry insiders note that Jungkook's visible support removes uncertainty. It signals unity. It signals internal harmony. It signals trust. Brands value this more than numbers. Chapter 14. The Global Market Response, East, West, and Beyond. The response to the Taehyung story was not limited to Korea or fandom spaces. In Europe, fashion analysts discussed Nike's repositioning. North America, sneaker communities speculated on limited drops. Japan, cultural magazines revisited Taehyung's influence. Middle East, luxury retail insiders watched closely. The reaction was not explosive, it was sustained. That matters. Virality fades. Sustained attention converts. Nike noticed.